So Spawn Variation 3 is mostly about mixing up the opponent. It's all about mind games, really. Here's a few little gimmicks, I guess gimmicks, I like to do online are, you know, you can stagger this, just standing 3 for that. I mean, you can do this a ton of times when you condition your opponent to block. You know, you can always end it with back forward 1 meter burn, and then do down back 3. That low is really good in this variation. The moves he has in this variation that the other ones don't are the Hell Chain, back forward 2. He's got the back forward 3, Soul Shattering War Club, down back 3, which is that low, and then the lethal Letha stance. So this one, I mean, really, you know, you can stagger that a lot. That's a good mix. You know, mid into an overhead or mid into a low, and it's people always get caught up in this variation. This one isn't really about damage. And here's a basic combo. You know, you can see 26%, but now you're invisible. But it costs 1 defensive and 1 offensive. So this one kind of has a lot of give and take to it. You're sacrificing the damage that variation 2 has, which is, you know, 34% for I don't know, what is it, that, and then down back 3 in variation 2. Whereas this is more just, you kind of have to play carefully, and you definitely have to, you know, space out your opponents and just make them start blocking this, so you can start doing this. So, that being said, let's put the opponent on block. So this move right here, it's a throw, counts as a throw. What I like to do is kind of mix that up, because if they're blocking, they're gonna get hit by it. You can also meter burn it for extra damage, or if you hold the meter burn button, right, whatever it is for you. For me, it's right bumper. You'll turn invisible. But like I said earlier, it costs 1 defensive, 1 offensive. The bad thing about that move is, I'm sorry, I got confused there. Is if they're, so let's do stance, and let's do duck. So they're blocking low, right? This will whiff, even if they're blocking low. I mean, so if you're conditioning them to block that, then if you try to go for that, they're gonna block low. That's why I like to mix that up. You know, you definitely want to do that. Go for the overhead at least once a game. More than once, I'd say. But it's really just about how your opponent is reacting to what you're doing. If you're conditioning, I mean, if you get punished, because that's a full combo punish if they block that. What is it? Yeah, -12 on block. So you're eating a full combo if they block that overhead. So the other options you have, well, every variation of Spawn has, is, let me change this real quick. Yeah, so that's a low, 4-2-1. So you can do this, you know, meter burn it, 17% on hit. But here's the thing. So I'm sorry, I should have just left him. Let's just do block all. So if they block this, you know, it's a pretty good distance away if they block that. Or if they block this, you know, you're a pretty good distance away. So what happens if they block this and they try to advance on you? I mean, they're gonna get stuffed by that back 1. I don't, you know, I'll do that a lot in a game. If they block that, I'll do some of that. You know, you don't really want to go for forward 2, because I think it's 16 frame startup. Yeah, and back 1 is 13 frames, a little bit quicker. So you want to just kind of, you know, space them out a little bit and then move on it. A lot of people get caught by that. If you block that, it's, what is it, low, and then mid. Yeah, and at this spacing, I mean, it says spawns -7 on block after meter burn, but I mean, because of the spacing, I mean, they can't press a button or they're gonna get hit. I mean, and that's a full combo. Other kind of really cool things with this variation is the back forward 3. I have another video on that actually. Let's. What am I doing here? Let's do breakaway on, and let's put him on off. Yeah. So. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm missing it. See? I mean, if you read a breakaway and you do that move, it pops them up again. They don't have a defensive meter. I'm sorry, I can't hit this for some reason. Oh my goodness. See, and he's got, you know, 31%. And I mean, obviously, there's a lot more combos you can do, especially with this crushing blow. If you hit that, it's like 47% if you read the breakaway, or, you know, down 2 crushing blow. It's all really, really good. So, other things you can do, 1-1, on block, that is +2. So let's just put him on block real quick. Oh, yeah. So, the end of this string, you can do, if you hold back 2 after it, so 1-1 back 2, that's +7 on block. And it is flawless blockable, but you can do this, do that, stagger the low. And people will get caught by this, because they're used to people just staggering 1-1. And you can't do 1-1 into 1-1, because people will just poke you right out of it. So, you can kind of mix that up, do 1-1 and that, and then kind of go for the pressure there. If you get them in a loop like that, like 1-1, they'll get hit by that poke. There's a lot you can do. Poke, you do that. And if they block that, they're going to want to press a button, dash in, back 1-2. Or you can do back 1, down back 3 again. He's very, very mixy. Other things you can do are the, so it's the stance. It's down back 4. This is a mid. The only thing I don't like about this move is, see that -18 on block, and then you can delay it, and that's how you get the crushing blow for the down 4. So it's like, you know, that. But you can also do this, kind of cancel it out, kind of mix them up a little bit. So I don't know. I'm still getting used to this move. I think it's really, like, you really have to condition your opponent to effectively use this move. Because if they block that, you're -17. What is it? -14. Yeah, the low is -14. The mid is just -18. So it's all punishable. But that crushing blow does some pretty decent damage. So, you know, let's do 28%. So it's not too bad. He's got a lot of potential. I don't know. My issue with him is his corner combos are absolutely trash. I mean, this is your best damage right here. Let me turn that off real quick. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, that's your best damage. 28% in the corner. It's just, he doesn't really have damage. You're going to be finding yourself just kind of chipping the opponent away. Because even this, I mean, that's a meter burn, it's only 15% if you hit that. This is 17, that's 20, I think, 19, yeah. So you're really still kind of relying on spawns, crushing blows, you know, the grab crushing blow. Let's do... I'm getting so confused. Easy crushing blows. Put it in the center. So I mean, you can do something like this. I fucked it up. See that? Well, shit, I put easy crushing blows on. You don't really get 56. I think you get about 47%. So it's really still based on his crushing blows, where all your damage comes from. Let's put breakaway on. So read that, you'll read the breakaway. Oh my goodness, I'm struggling so hard today, I don't know why. It's still 37 off down 2. So he's, I don't know, he's a tricky character. I think he's really, really good though. I think he has a lot of potential. And it's still only been, what, 2 weeks since he's come out, so I think people will still be finding some pretty nifty stuff with all of his variations. But yeah, this move is it's so good. This is probably his best anti-air, is a standing 1. And the good thing about it is he doesn't have a back 1, standing 3 is his best anti-air. He doesn't have a back 3 or a forward 3, so you can kind of advance and still hit 3, and the move you want still comes out. And it's a really good stagger. I mean, you can just do this all day. And, you know, if you condition them enough to block that, just do that, and then go in for that, you know, get your damage off. And I mean, this is what you really want to do with him. Get the invisible, so you get the crushing blow. It's all kind of, you know, it's really a person-by-person basis how you want to play this character. Because there's a lot of people I've played who are very scared of this overhead, so all they're going to do is block overhead. No matter how many times you do back 1 into down back 3, they're only going to block overhead. So I just, you know, if I see somebody doing that, I won't go for the overhead, obviously. Or, you know, I can mix that up. But when people start to predict what you're going to do, that's when it starts to get dangerous. Because if they predict you're going to do that, I mean, that's like minus 50 if it whiffs, you know. The other thing about this move is it doesn't connect on hit after anything. You know, 1-1, that, it's all going to whiff. The only thing it connects with is standing 4, but I don't think too many people are going to just, you know, get a random standing 4 into that. But it kind of sucks, you know. Nothing connects unless they're in the air in a combo. Other good things are like 2-4, and then you know, well, it works better on block, but so I can show you this. So 2-4, down back 3, meter burn, because they're ready for this, you know. So that move, by the way, is +4 on block. I think it is flawless blockable. I think the last move is. Not exactly sure. Let's say you get this move off in the corner. You can usually get away with that. It's a 13 frame startup, so they need a, well, you know, most people are going to try to do something crazy, like try to go into a combo because they see your, you know, they see how long it takes for you to recover, and so they want to poke, want to do something. But you can usually get away with this if they try to press a button. If they like to poke after that, you just do down 3 or down 1, back into pressure, 1-1, down 3, 1-1. Hit that, then they'll press a button, do that, you know. He's really, I don't know, he's just very mix-up-y, I'd say. Very, if you're going to play this character, you have to be really good at mind games, because you're not going to get a lot of damage. This, by the way, this move, most people are going to be blocking low if you throw this out, because they know Spawn doesn't have an overhead after this. It's usually that. So, I mean, because most people play variation 2, so they're used to that moveset, where he really just has this and this to open you up with. They're not used to playing variation 3, because from what I've noticed, not many people pick this variation up. So after this, I mean, you can do that, but they're most likely going to block it. But more importantly, I'll just put them on stance, and then I'll put them on duck. See, if you do this and then go for the throw, it's going to whiff every time. Like, I do not ever go for this, because they're ducking like 100% of the time. Nobody blocks overhead on this, and you're just gonna whiff. You're gonna have a recovery of like 1,000. They're just gonna walk up and full combo you. So if you're gonna do this, I'd recommend ending in that or that. It's just, this will not work. I mean, I've tried it against everybody, it doesn't work. I'm done doing that one. What you really want to do is like do that mix up, or you know, you want to do this mix up. It's really like, I mean, I've only played probably, I don't know, 100, 200 games with Spawn, and that's just what I've noticed, is people tend to not block high after you do this. But this is a really good mix. Always catch them. And then, you know, some of that. You know, that works. If you start off the game, like if you see they're blocking and you do this, you'll usually hit that like 100% of the time. Because they're going to be used to people playing Variation 2 and they're not used to a throw coming. So I would say start off with that and then kind of start to do this. I very rarely go for the overhead anymore because people just know it's coming. And no matter how many times you do this, they're like already conditioned to block an overhead. So usually this is free damage, you know, free 10%. Because they just don't, I mean, they're not ready for that mix. His poke is also really good. If you hit confirm his poke, down 1, into down back 3, meter burn. Very, very good. Always catches people with that. Let's go back to center. So, let's say you hit this. I'm sorry, let me turn this off real quick. Yeah, so let's say you hit this though. What's wrong with this? Off, there we go. So let's say you hit that. Sometimes that works. I mean, if you get this off successfully, you can dash in and then do that. So you're not really they're not looking to get hit by a low. They're going to want to back up. So you do that, dash in. I'm sorry, but don't meter burn this if you're going to dash in on them like that. Because you know, you're going to whiff if you don't dash correctly. It really just depends on the spacing. But you know, if you knock them down, I mean, even like this, most people just want to back up. Like they'll be backing up if you dash forward. And depending on which combo you use and how close you are, you're usually going to win with that. And it's -7 on block. Because of that spacing, you're still kind of going for pressure. So this variation is really just about chipping your opponent away and just mixing them to death, really. And then you got to use your plus frames wisely. A lot of people are flawless blocking this move right here. But obviously this is a crushing blow if you get it as a punish. It's unbreakable. So if you punish somebody, I mean, they're eating 30%. Let's do this. Yeah, that's a punish. The requirements for that move are if you punish something. So it's basically a free 30% if you punish somebody with a what's standing one? 7 frame startup. 7 frame startup, unbreakable, 30%. Honestly, one of the best crushing blows in the entire game. That can win you the round right there if it's close. Just get one punish and do it. Yeah, so that's the other thing, is this move absolutely trash. I don't ever use that move. I don't see a reason for anybody to use that move. And here's why. So let's say you get this off. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, it's just absolutely trash. If you hit him, all you can really do is that. It's 19%. Or, you know. Let's see if I can hit this. The timing is so tight on that move. It launches him up, but your recovery is so bad on that move that like you can't do anything with it. I mean, you're -18 on block, and recovery is 39. So all you're gonna get away with is doing something like that, and it just sucks so bad. Don't recommend using this move at all. Very hard to use. I would recommend using this every once in a while, because if you kind of, you know, wait a little bit, gimmick them out, hit the low, get the crushing blow. I'm sorry, let me do that again. Get the crushing blow. There you go. Other things you can do is kind of like 1-1, cancel 1-1 into that, or you know, cancel. So it's a good way to mix people up if you get them to respect you. Other than that, I would never just use that move in itself, because it's so bad, such a bad move. I really want them to reduce that recovery from 39 to like maybe 20, so you can actually do more with it, and maybe give it a little more damage on hit, because it only does 5%, and it's a launcher, but it sucks. Like you can't really follow up with anything. I mean, it's just really, really bad. But for chip, yep, okay. So for chip, this is what I like to do. If you can do this, do that, because it's +4. So you get them like that, you're +4, back 1, and then that. This is very, very good on chip. I mean, this move right here is about 3% if you meter burn it. So do some of that, or you know, try to go for that if they're respecting you. It's all really, really good. This is the most damaging chip damage I can find. Some people like to do this, I guess. It's close, but this is the best chip you have in this variation of spawn. I mean, obviously, if they're blocking high, you can kind of try to mix them up for that. But if you want to chip somebody out, I would say just go for this as much as you can. You know, put them in that frame. Well, it's not really a frame trap, but the distance. If you do this, dash it again, and that's chip out. You know, so I don't know. It's he's a very interesting character. I don't really see a huge, like, I don't like this move at all. I think it should be replaced with something else because it's not really that good. Since you have this, there's not really a huge reason to go for that too much because it's -14 on block. The only reason I would do it is for a crushing blow, but if they block it, you're still gonna get full punished. So I like to stick with this because it's safe. You can actually hit people if they try to press buttons. I mean, it's just so bad. But other than that, I think this variation is really, really good. It gives you an opportunity to open up other people pretty easily. Nobody's really used to spawn yet anyway. Even when people are used to spawn, I mean, they're still going to struggle against this variation because it's just got so much mix. I mean, this throw is just so deadly. And the fact that you get invisibility off it too, oh, it's so, so good. So let's, oh, that's the other thing. When I go invisible, what I like to do, half the time I'll jump, and then I'll hit them with a, you know, jump, let me do that again. So let's just do this. People always try to press buttons. I'll jump, just do 1-1, and then get the crushing blow that way. I mean, if people are going to respect you, the thing is you want a launcher, so you can hit them with the throw again. So you have two options, really. They're always going to be blocking it high, like most of the time. So I like to go for forward, I like to go for this when I'm invisible. Or I like to go for just jump 3, and then just do a basic one like that, the crushing blow. Other than that, I like, if you try to hit them with back 1-2, if they're a pretty experienced player, they're gonna try to block this first, because they'll be listening for sound cues, and they're gonna see, like, you know, they'll hear the first one, and then it's just a 50-50, and you're invisible, so they're gonna block the overhead because they don't want you to get the combo. So I like to go for this. Most people don't block low on it. So it's pretty good. And that's why I don't really go for the throw, like if I go invisible. I don't like to go for the throw right off the bat, because sometimes you can't really tell your distance from them. Like maybe if you're back here when you do it, and you'll whiff, and then you're just kind of wasting time. So I like to do one of those two things. You know, jump in, the crush and blow. Easy 36%, 37%, or kind of go for one of these. So yeah. Anyway, hope this helped a little bit. Spawn's really really mixy. I definitely enjoy playing this variation. I think it's a lot of fun. Still learning him, so I don't know. Still figuring some things out, but I'm having a ton of fun with him. He's, I don't know. I honestly think he's probably one of the better characters in the game right now. Especially this variation, but this variation is, I'd say it's more of like an advanced one. I mean, it's hard to play this variation properly. Variation 2 is kind of like the brainless, like the Joker variation where he's got the boxing gloves and it's just a ton of damage. That's variation 2. Variation 3 is just all mind games, all mix-ups, and you got to be able to read your opponent, really. You got to condition them well, you got to be able to condition them well, and you got to be able to read them. So yeah, hope it helped.